Yo, what's up guys? Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a thumbnail like this. It's going to be a SCP style thumbnail, kind of advanced, where we're dealing with an interior scene and it's not just some basic thumbnail from the jump. So go ahead and open up Roblox Studio, go ahead and type in MTF morph and find whatever it is you want to export, okay? Whatever you do, you can apply the same techniques onto whatever I show, okay? I mean, whatever you use. So I'm going to delete the pad and the platform. Okay, and make sure your character is in the middle of the map. So that way when you export it, it's right in the center of your workspace. Okay, right click export. I already have it exported, so just find wherever. And once that's there, go ahead and open up Blender, press A, press X to delete everything. Go to File, Import, Wavefront OBJ. Find your character, and mine is in my E drive under Less Characters, MTF Light, and OBJ, okay? Don't select the MTL. The MTL is embedded pretty much in the OBJ. In your Geometry tab right here, choose Split by Group, okay? Don't have Split by Object, have Split by Group. Don't worry about anything else. And Import Object. And once that's set, it's imported. First thing we're going to do is rig this. Now we're going to rig it in the basic way. We're not going to do any advanced limb bending. If you want to bend limbs, just watch a different tutorial, apply those to your character, then come back to this tutorial to watch the rest of the scene. But the style for this thumbnail is the classic R6 movement, okay? So that's what we're going to be focusing on. So to rig this, just select the arm. So select the arm, press tab to go into edit mode, press 2 to go into edge mode, or at the top left right here, you see these three options. The edge mode is the middle one. This is called the vertex mode. This is called the face mode, okay? We're going to use the edge mode. So you can press that or 2 on your keyboard. So press the edge right here, Shift S, cursor to selected. And now let's press set origin to 3D cursor. And now if we press RX or Z or Y, we can now rotate along that, so that way it's properly aligned. Now, if you don't want to use hotkeys to rotate, to top left, you have these options right here. Use the rotate tool and just click to rotate. And we're going to do the same thing over here, okay? So select the arm, tab edit mode, press 2 on the keyboard, select the edge, Shift S, cursor to selected, tab out to go back to object mode, set origin to 3D cursor. And for the legs, we're going to use face mode, okay? Select the torso, press H to hide. Select the leg, press tab edit mode, press 3 or select up here to go into face mode. And select these two faces, Shift S, cursor to selected, set origin to 3D cursor. Same thing here, tab edit, 3 face, select these, press tab out, set origin, whoops, I forgot something. Select that, Shift S, cursor to selected, tab out, set origin to 3D cursor. Now that's done. If we go ahead and rotate this, that works fine. Alt H, now the torso is back. For the torso, let's select the bottom faces, okay? So select the torso, Shift H to isolate it, Shift H, go into edit mode, tab 3, select the faces, Shift S, cursor to selected, tab out, set origin to 3D cursor. Alt H to go back. Now, boom. That's all handy dandy. Now we have to parent everything, okay? So if we move the torso, nothing moves with it. Select the arm, select the torso, actually select every object, bop, 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 bop. Then select the torso, Control P, parent to object. Now if we move the torso, everything else move with it. We're gonna do the head next, see? Bow, bow, change done. Easy. Okay, now we want to get our head situated. So let's we can delete this head right here, okay? So if you don't know what to do, just select this, press H till you get to this, okay? If you want to keep it, that's fine, but we don't need it. It's not even going to be visible. Selected, press X to delete because we don't need that. Then press Alt H to unhide everything. Then let's select this and press tab to go into edit mode. Let's actually shift H first. Tab out, shift H, tab back in, edit mode. And what we're going to do is just select these bottom faces, or let's see, press 1 to go into face mode, press 1 on your numpad to go into front view, Z, and press wireframe, press B and select all the bottom vertices, only the bottom ones. Then tab out, set origin, shift S, wait, go back into edit mode. Whoops, I'm going too fast. Shift S, cursor to selected, tab out, set origin to 3D cursor, boom. Alt H to unhide everything. Now select your helmet, select every object first, actually, don't select that. Select the light, select this, the flashlight, the helmet, the goggles. Then select the face, the mask, then press Ctrl P, parent to object. If we rotate the mask now, everything moves with it. And if all we have to do now is parent the mask to the helmet, to the torso. So select the mask, select the torso next, Ctrl P, parent to object. Save your scene, SCP, thumb 2. Okay, and that's done. Now that's it for rigging. Now what we're going to do is go on to texturing our character. So first off, at the top left, let's make a new window. Just drag out. Okay. Now at the top left again, in your new view, press the editor type and go to shader mode or shader editor. At the top right, make sure you're in either viewport shading or rendered mode. I'm going to use cycles, okay? So to use cycles, all the way at the right, under render properties, render engine, cycles. In your device, choose GPU if you have a decent GPU. Otherwise, keep it as CPU if you don't have a decent GPU, okay? For my samples, I'm going to change it to 512. Actually, no, 128. Now, our first little problem is our character. It's invisible. So, we got to delete all the alpha maps, okay? So right here, this alpha. This will make everything transparent. Boom. Now, if you don't have a texture, what you do, say if you don't have anything, okay? Let's run it back some. You don't have anything. Select your object, go to material down here, and there should be an option. If there is an option at the right where this plus is, this right here, click that, then click new material. And then you can, to the left right here, Shift A, search for image texture. Then press open and find the texture that was exported out with your character. I'm going to press Z, Control Z to go all the way back to this because we were fine. Let's delete the alpha maps for everything. Is that it? I think that's it. Okay, cool. Now what we're going to need is some lights, okay? So at the top left, look for at object, make sure you choose world. Now let's press Shift A and look for environment texture. Always use environment textures, okay? So we're going to import a HDR for HDRs, again, in environment textures, not image textures. What you want to do is go to a website called HDR Haven, okay? Once you do that, I will have a link to in the description. And we're going to be using this, okay? This will be linked in the description. You can get I suggest you get the 4K version. So yeah. Anyway, go back to Blender. In your environment texture, click open. And mine is in the E drive, textures, HDR textures, texture haven. Make sure everything is organized, okay? So that way it makes it easier to find stuff. Peppermint. I'm using the 16K version, but yeah. So put that into the color, okay? And it's going to take a while to load because it's a 16K map. It'll be way faster to load if it was like 2K, 4K, etc. Okay, so our first little problem is this helmet texture, okay? It's kind of whack. Select the helmet texture, go into object mode, delete this because we don't want to use that. We don't need those low resolution maps for this thumbnail. We can go for some realism. So to make everything pretty simple, go to Google, type in CCO textures, go to categories, look for surface imperfections. What you want to do is get this one right here, okay? 008. I will have everything, every single texture I use will be linked in the description, okay? And it's all completely free. You don't even have to make an account for this site. All free. So get this right here. And then Shift A, image texture, open, and since I have everything organized, it should be easy to find. E textures, and where is it? CCO textures, under surface imperfects, 008. I'm using the 2K version. So let's grab this, bring that in, put it into the roughness, bring the specular up, and let's see. Change the color space to non-color. And as you can see, it's a little bit cool now. But let's go to Google and let's type in SWAT helmet or SWAT military helmet. And let's look at some references, okay? So as you can see, there's like little bitty itty dots. Some like small little details. But yeah, you get the you get what I'm pointing out, okay? So go to Google, find reference images of whatever model you have, and try to match its surface, okay? Like I'm looking at these, I'm getting what I can. See, looking at this, how dotty it is, it's really like noisy. So we'd use a noise texture for that. Okay. So let's the surface imperfection map, I think it's a little bit it's taking up too much space. It needs to be tiled more, okay? So before we get any further, go to edit, preferences, add-ons, search node wrangler. And once you have that, go ahead and check that, okay? And then press save preferences. Now on your imperfection map, press Ctrl T. And let's increase the X by 4 and the Y by 4 to increase the tiling. And I like that way more. Okay, let's bring the BSDF back into the surface. Before I continue though, so you want to keep this this method right here, okay? Plug your your textures into the surface and make sure they look kind of decent, okay? Make sure it's not like all over the place. Have a decent tiling. Now let's plug this back into surface. And that's clean. Now let's import the normal map. So just select this texture, Shift D, open it right here. Look for the normal, bang. Color space, non-color, always use that. And for normal maps, you always want to have a normal. You can't just plug it into the normal and that's it, because that looks wonky. So Shift A, normal map. Plug it into the normal color right here, then plug that into the normal. And that's a little too strong. And we have another problem. Color space, somehow that went back to sRGB, put it back to color, non-color. And now we have to match its tiling, because the tiling is the same texture. I mean, they go hand in hand together, okay? So you have to plug the vector into this. And as you can see, it works pretty well. And now that texture is way better than what we had before. So let's decrease the strength now. I like that. Now there's one more detail we have to do. That's the little itty bitty dots that you see on most of these helmets. See this right here? And that is very easy. So let's unplug this normal just for test reasons. Let's unplug the roughness. Let's add a noise texture. So Shift A, look for noise. Plug this noise into the surface. Let's bring up this scaling. Now you always want to experiment with it because the scaling here might be different for the model you're using, okay? Gotta go really high, bring the detail down, bring in the distortion up some. I like that. Now for this, you'd use a bump node, okay? So Shift A, look for a bump. Plug this into the height, then plug that into the normal. Then plug this into surface again. And to me, it's way too strong. Okay, I think that's a really good amount right there. We're going to plug this normal into this bump. And I'm going to bring this up. See, this noise texture is a procedural texture, so we don't need to put that into the mapping right here. Okay, let's see. If I make this 0, I'm gonna go ahead and bring the normal strength back to 1. All right. Bring in the bump back up. Bring the normal up some, 2. No, you always want to experiment with it. Okay, I'm liking that. Control S to save your scene. And now we also want this bump to mix in with the roughness, okay? Because it affects the reflection. So look for Shift A, mix RGB. Put the surface imperfection at the bottom. Put the noise texture in the color 2. Let's put this into the surface and make sure everything's kind of mapped right. If you bring the factor all the way up, that's just going to leave it at the noise texture. If you bring it all the way down, it's just going to use the surface. Let's bring it to the midpoint. There we go. I'm going to bring it down a little bit more because I don't want the bump to affect it that much. I want the surface imperfection to be way more in it, okay? And once you get with that, put that into the roughness. And bring this back into the surface. Okay? Let's bring the bump strength down a lot more. And let's bring the normal back down to 1. That's why you experiment, folks. Always experiment. Bring it down some more. I'm going to bring it down on the roughness more too. Okay. And did this, oh, I'm about to say, did it crash? Anyway, Control S to save your scene. And now you have to do the same thing over it with this light, okay? So select this light, this flashlight thing. Select the helmet flashlight holder and then press Control L and link materials. It's gonna take a second to load. Okay, that's good right there. Let's really make sure it's good, okay? Let's zoom in here. That's fine. Select this light right here. And on the surface, put emission. And let's bring this out some. Set origin to center of surface so we can see that. Yep, just bring it out. Increase the strength to like 50. Okay, that's cool to me. Now we have to edit the glasses. Let's go back to the normal viewport shading. Let's press Shift H to isolate it. Tab to go into edit mode. Press 3. And then to go into face mode up here, then press C. And let's select the goggles. And now over here, let's add a new material. Create new, name it visor. Now for the old material, let's select it. Let's zoom out here, delete this goggles texture, and we're going to give it a normal rubber texture. So with rubber, it's pretty just down with the roughness, specular up. And that's all you have to do really. I might switch to the 4K HDR because this is a little bit too slow in the loading. Make sure the color is black. Select the visor, bring the specular up, bring the roughness all the way down. Let's see. Okay, so if it's not working, make sure you go back into edit mode, select these, and then press assign, okay? And boom. Base color, I'm going to bring it down, just like that. Now for the roughness, let's go to Google, go back to surface, imperfections. Let's select one of these, I guess, whichever one you want to, and download. Now I'm going to just use another one because I already have it downloaded. So Shift A, image texture, open. And I'm going to put this into the roughness. Make sure it's non-color and roughness. Okay, I'm going to put it in base color, the surface too, to see how it looks. And I'm fine with that. Now I'm fine with its mapping, okay? It doesn't need to be stretched out and stuff like that. So put this back into the surface. And that's fine. Now press Alt H to unhide everything. Alright. Now I want to change the texture of the mask. I don't like this, so I'm going to delete it. I'm going to make the base color black. And I'm going to bring the roughness down, bring the specular up, bring the roughness up a little bit, and then I'm going to add a noise texture. I'm going to put this into the surface and bring the scale down. Alright. I'm going to bring the detail up. Distortion. Just a little bit, just very subtle. Yep, very subtle. Maybe bring the scaling up some. And now we're going to add another noise texture. And then we're going to add a mixed RGB. We're going to put the big one and the color one, then the new one in color 2. Then put this back onto surface. And we're going to make the scale of the new one pretty low. I'm going to bring the detail up to 16 and bring the effect down a little bit. I'm going to add a color ramp to the first one. And I'm going to bring the the black value up. Okay, now I'm going to put that into the noise. I mean, wait, we have to add a bump map first. So Shift A, add a bump, and put that into the height. Then put that into the normal. Then plug this back into a surface. And then we're just going to bring the strength all the way down by a lot. And then we're going to bring the roughness up some. Bring this down a little bit more, because it just needs to be a subtle, okay? Just a subtle change. And I'm liking that. Bring the specular down a little bit, okay? And now we need to edit this shirt texture. So let's add a black and white value. So search Shift A, search up B, RGB to BW, put that into the color. Shift A, normal map, bump map. Plug that into the height. Then plug that into the normal. Then let's bring up the specular all the way and bring down the roughness. All right. Then let's press Shift A, add a noise. We're going to put this into the surface. We're going to pretty much do it like a Lego character. So if we just go to Google, Lego render, and we go to images, let's see what's not there. Basically, for some characters, there's like very little dot specks on them. And that's pretty much what we're going to recreate. I really can't find an example. Okay, as you can see here on this guy's hair, or here, you can see there's just dots everywhere. Just itty bitty tiny dots. Like here too, look at this render. Very small dots. That's basically what we're going to do. So similar to the face mask, let's bring the scale very low. Let's Shift D to add a new one. So select it, Shift D to clone it. Take that out the vector. And for the new one, put that into the surface. Let's bring the scale to like 0. And let's just make it a little bit higher than this one. Then we're going to Shift A, look for a Musgrave texture, which is another noise. Put that into the height, put that into the surface. Scale it up a little bit to medium. Detail all the way up. Bring the dimensions down. Okay. Let's move these out the way. For the look for a, so Shift A, look for mix RGB. We're going to plug these in first, so bring the big one into color 1, bring the itty bitty tiny one to color 2. Then let's put a mix RGB again. Let's plug this into color 1 and put this Musgrave into, actually we're going to flip it. Put these into color 2, put the Musgrave into color 1. Then put the mix into the surface. Okay. For the factor, let's bring it up just a little bit, just a little bit. All right. Let's plug this into another mix RGB. Shift A, look for mix RGB. And we're going to mix this with the color of the shirt. So put that into color 2. And let's bring the factor down some, up some. We can flip it actually. All right. Then let's put this into the normal. I mean, not the normal, put that into the height. Put that into the normal, it's already there. Let's adjust some. And then plug this back into the surface. Okay, then let's unplug the base color, just so we can see everything better. And we're gonna bring the strength down by a lot. All right. Plug that back into base color back into there. And now we're gonna play with the fact here some. I'm gonna bring it up a little bit because I kind of want the regular shirt texture to pop more. Bring the strength up, then in the fact. .008. And yes, I like that. I like that. Maybe 0.005, 0.004 actually. Again, you want to find what you like, okay? And now the shirt texture is mixed in with the small bits of noise. Maybe bring the roughness down some. And I like that. That is way better than just this, okay? Way better than just that. It adds the next level of detail. Boom. Now there is another thing you can try doing, and that's doing 3D clothing. So go to YouTube, type in Roblox 3D clothing tutorial, and then come back to this if you want to do the scene. So just an alternative, but yeah. All right. And now for the last part concerning our character, we're going to import a AK-47 model, okay? So go to Google. I'm going to have this in the description too. This is free. You just make an account, which is also free, and just download it, okay? I already have it downloaded. And let's go back to Blender. File, import, wavefront OBJ. Now I think it's FBX. So file, import, FBX. And I put it in my 3D models right here. FBX, import. I'm going to drag it out to the middle. I'm going to press the decimal on my numpad to zoom in. I'm going to shift and select the AK, the base part right here, to make sure it's the active object. Then I'm going to press Control P to set parent to object. That way, if I just select this base and move it, everything moves with it. And boom, easy like that. So that way, if you don't move a part, everything else stays where it is. It's all grouped up, easy to work with. So now we have to import all our textures for the AK. So let's select the material. Let's resize this too. Bring it over. Press S on the scale, or just use the scale tool right here. I like using the hotkey. Okay, I like that. I think that's a pretty decent size. Press S to press Control S to save. And now let's texture. Let me go back to rendering mode. And let's press Shift A over here. Shift A, image texture, open, and right here. So find the folder where you exported it at. Base color obviously goes into base color. Shift D to just make it easier to find the textures again. Open it, look for metallic. That goes into the metalness, non-color, metal. But we have a bit of a problem. So to just fix this up and just skip straight forward, just remove this material. Add a new material. Name it AK-47 or whatever the gun is. And let's Shift A again, image texture, open, base color, boom. We're going to go into viewport shading. And for some reason these are black, so let's just select these black parts and then press the AK last. So bop, then press Ctrl L and link its materials. And now it's all fixed up. So let's Shift D to base color, open up the metal, put that in metallic, non-color, Shift D again, open, normal, goes into the normal map. Find a normal map, Shift A, put that in there, color, put that into the normal. And then, whoop, it went back to sRGB, non-color. Shift D again, open the roughness, boom, non-color, put that into the roughness, done. And now our AK is textured. Let's see how it looks when it's rendered. So that's all good. Alright, so the next part what we would do is basically create our scene. I'll see you next. Okay, so now we are going to go ahead and make our scene. So let's go to Google and let's type in tunnel. This is the tunnel I'm going to use. Basically, when the client gives you a reference images or details, you know, usually for group commissions, you have to make your scene, but I mean, it all depends really. But yeah, so go to Google, type it in, get anything you need, and you go to a site called PureRef. You don't need this, but it's a good thing to have. Like, it really helps out. So basically, you know, I think it's like $10 to $5. I think you can pay like $1 too, but custom amount, you know. I think I paid like $2. But yeah, once you have PureRef, you can basically load up all your reference images right here, and it stays on the screen, and you can just navigate, zoom in to wherever, and then yeah, it just stays up there. You don't really have to go back and forth between a picture, and boom, you know, it's all the same. It's all up there. That's why I like it a lot. It makes my workflow way more easier, so it's a cool thing to have. All right, so let's go ahead and load this up. And as you can see, we're going to just do the concrete. We're not going to do the graffiti. But the first thing we need is our cylinder. We're going to model out this base. And let's do that real quick. So press Shift S, cursor to world origin. Okay, that way when we spawn in an object, everything is down to the center. Shift A, make a cylinder. Let's rotate it on the x-axis by pressing RX 90. And once you have that, go ahead and scale it up. So press, whoops. We're missing one thing. Delete that. Shift A, mesh cylinder. Now, I'm going to put this over here. You should have options right here, okay? You want to make it 64. Actually, I'm going to go with 124. Okay, or yeah, 128. Just to make it very smooth. Then let's go into edit mode. So press tab, 3 to go to faces, like this face and this face. Press shift select to select multiple, then press X to delete those. Tab out, RX 90, or use the rotate tool. Then press S to scale it up. Let's bring it up some, like right there. Let's make it wider. So let's go into edit mode, press A, then press Alt S. What's that going to do is just make it bring the diameter bigger or wider without really elongating it. Now what we're going to do is just go into tab, 1 to go into vertices, press B and select all these ones. If you don't know how to go to vertex mode, press 1 or look at the top left up here. Boom, boom, boom. If you heard me burp, excuse me. And now we're going to drag this out very far. Very far. Oh, whoops, wrong direction. Well, that's fine. We can just move it back. Select your character or whatever it's in the front. Press the decimal on your numpad to zoom back in. shade smooth, so just right click and shade smooth to get rid of that stuff. Also, for you like people that love stuff that's visually appealing, press cavity and your type, choose both, and it gives this nice little effect. Some people like it, I do too. You can also play with the matte caps, boom, bow, bang, or here, and this one, I like this a lot when I'm modeling, or this one. But yeah, so just a cool, neat thing. I'm going to use this because it's cool. So once you have that done, press Shift A, mesh plane. Let's scale the plane up. Alright, now let's tab, go into edit mode, press 2 on the keyboard, select this edge, press at the top right here, look for snapping, press the magnet, and bring the drop down and press vertex to make sure it's on closest. Then drag this all the way down to the end. And press tab to zoom out. And there's our floor. What we need now is the railing. So let's just press Shift A, mesh cylinder, keep everything the same, RX 90. Let's bring it all the way over here. Let's press S to bring it down some. Alright, go into edit mode, press 3 to go to face mode, drag this to the end, make sure snapping is on, just snap it right there. Press 1, press Z on your keyboard, wireframe, press B, select all these. At the end, press Z, go to solid, and bring it all the way down. Now right click, set origin to 3D cursor. If your cursor is not right here, just Shift S, cursor to world origin, then it will be right there. Now let's right click, actually wait. We're going to press A to go into edit mode. I mean not A, press tab, go into edit mode, press A to select all. Press 1 on your take that back, just zoom out, I guess. And we're gonna scoot it out. Scoot it in some. Bring it over. Whoops, turn off your snapping. And just bring it over. That way we have room for these, okay? And I'm liking that, so let's see. Let's bring down the modifiers, look for a mirror. And now it just duplicated over there. And whatever changes you make will automatically apply over there, so that's a good thing with the mirror modifier. Now let's press Shift A, mesh plane. Let's make these now. Press 1 on your keyboard, on your numpad to go into front view. Drag this out. Tab, press 1, press A to select all the vertices, press M or Alt M. In 2.8, I think it's Alt M, but for me in 2.9, I just have to press M and press collapse. Bring it all the way over, then bring it down some more, press E to bring it out, then right click to let it go back, and you can just use the axis points. Then press E again and bring it up. Now select this vertex, and I think for 2.8 it's Control Alt B. Control Alt B. That didn't work for me. I think at 2.9 it's Control Shift B. But yeah, try Control Alt B or Control Shift B. And then bring it up. It's kind of tight. And what you want to do is scroll up on your mouse wheel to to smooth it out. And that's good to me. Press A, press the decimal on your numpad to zoom into it. And we need to scoot it in past this. Boom. That's fine right there. Let's bring this up, go past that. Now let's right click and nope. At the top, go to Object, Convert Mesh from Text. And right here, you should see this green thing. It's your object data properties for spline objects. And look for geometry, and under depth, you want to make this big a little bit. And that should be fine right there. Right click, shade smooth, and let's bring it in some. All right, that's cool to me. Now let's, I'm gonna bring the resolution up. All right, let's drag it all the way right here. All right, now let's, object, convert mesh to, oh yeah, convert to mesh from curve text. So with this, now let's press tab to go into edit mode, press 2, so now let's press Shift Alt and one of the top edges. Then right click, then press mark seam. Now, let me see something. If we go into UV editing, and this is for texturing, let's press A, press the decimal on our numpad to zoom in. So if we just press U and unwrap, as you can see, texturing this will be crazy and it will be like just dumb. It would not look right at all. So when it comes to cylinder objects with no caps on the top, press 2 and select like just one all the way down the middle. So Shift Alt to get one long selection, right click and mark seam. If Shift Alt does not work for you, press 2, select the edge, then go to select and loops and edge loop. Okay, that's what you do. Now you press A and then you press U and then you press unwrap. And now that will be way easier, or it will look right at least when you texture. And now for unwrapping this, which is different, you can't just tab edit mode, select one, mark seam. If we unwrap this, it still looks bad. Even though we did the same thing over here, it won't work over here. What we need to do is mark seams on the edge points, on this. So select that one, come all the way down, select that one as best as you can, press Shift to double select. Then press the decimal on your numpad and kind of get in there. Then press 2. Oh yeah, so you press 3 to select the face, then you press 2 again, then you mark seam. Okay. So I'm going to show you once I zoom back in. Now we have a seam right here. So we press A, you unwrap, boom. So basically you split off the caps. That way this lays out flat. I'm going to remove this seam right here on the top, clear seam, and put it on the bottom instead, or put it behind because these will be kind of in a view and you don't want seams to be where someone can obviously see it. Now press A, you unwrap, done. Now Control S to save. Shade smooth that. Over here to the right, on the normals, press auto smooth, and boom, now that's done. Now we need to get this to go all the way down. So instead of just cloning it out, go to your modifiers and look for array. And you want to make it on the Y axis. So just press 1 on the Y, press 0 on the X. If it's different for you, it doesn't work on the Y, try the X or try the Z. And then you want to space it out. So just bring it up. Whoops. It went way too far. Sometimes you have to type in the value. And then once you find a decent enough spacing, maybe 100, then you just want to clone it all the way down. See wireframe it, see how far it goes. Give it more. And then that's cool. Z solid mode. Press the decimal on your numpad to zoom back in. Click apart on the character. Select the railing holder, or whatever you want to call it. Then add modifier mirror. Now the mirror is right there. So what you want to do is set origin to 3D cursor. That way the mirror is right off here. The origin, the new origin is right here. So boom, it translates over. And now that's that part. Now what we need to do is make this top cylinder right here. So pretty easy. Shift A, mesh cylinder, RX 90. Bring it up. scale it down. Tab edit mode 3 to select faces. Select this face and bring it all the way over. Z wireframe, select that face. I go into wireframe just so I can just select through the back. Z solid, bring it all the way back down over here. Boom. Turn on snapping so you just easily get it aligned. Select that face, press the decimal on your numpad to zoom in. Boom. Done. I'm going to go back to layout and select this. I think it's too wide, so tab A, Alt S. Whoops. Okay, I like that better. Boom. There we go. Now let's do the unwrapping now. So we're gonna go ahead and unwrap this, then duplicate it. The reason why we're unwrapping it now is so that in our duplicates, we don't have to go back through and unwrap every single thing. We just have to, not mark seams for everything. We can just tab A, unwrap. That's it. So select face, select the face all the way to the back. So just press B, bow. And then Z solid 2, then mark seam. Then for the top, select mark seam. Done. AU unwrap. Easy peasy. Control A to reset the scaling. A unwrap again. So for this too, Control A reset scaling. A whoops, we gotta make a seam down here. We won't put it up here on the sides because that will be visible. So we make it on a flat down here. AU unwrap. Boom. Now let's say we unwrap this again. Wait, show Shift-D. This is just an example. You don't have to do this, but let's say I scaled it in SY. Say you scale something right. You go to mark your seams. You try to unwrap it. AU unwrap. Now, if I just you get this thing down here called object has non-uniform scale, unwrap operate with not scale version. So just press reset scaling. So scale AU unwrap, and boom. Now you don't have that problem. You will always need to do that. X delete that. So layout. Now we need to add this thing right here, this little pipe in the middle. I'm going to do it like right here though. I'm just going to Shift-D, SY, then then press Tab, Alt S. I'll press A, then Alt S. Bring it up some, SY again. So just like this, we need to Control A, reset scaling, Tab A, U unwrap. Boom, done. Now let's Shift-D, SY, SY again, Tab A, Alt S, U unwrap. Let's add a mirror modifier for this. Not mirror, array modifier. Put it on the Y axis. So 1 on the Y. Oh, nope. See, that didn't work. So we got to do it on the Z axis. Boom. We're only making one because it'll just go right there. Let's Shift-D again on this one. SY. Oops, SY. SY again to be way skinnier. AU unwrap. Wait, scale it up though. Reset scaling. Now unwrap it. Then let's make it smaller actually. Tab A, Alt S. Okay. Now reset scaling again. Bring it over all the way to the end. And make sure you unwrap it. Add a modifier. Z axis. 0 on the X. I'll make it negative on the Z. and just give it a bunch of counts and go all the way down. Okay, and there's our pipe. We can also take this and actually we'll wait to do that. Let's give this a material. So just select it, add a new material, name it copper pipe. And hide this. Select, go press B and select all this, but deselect the main pipe. Actually, select it again, make sure the main pipe is orange. Then press Ctrl L, materials. Excuse me, I think I burped again. And for everything else, yep, they all now share the same pipe. Now we have to shade smooth everything, so just select shade smooth, but go over here to your object data properties, normals, auto smooth. Do that for each. Okay, select these two pipes right here. Shift D, bring it down. Shift D, bring it down. Okay, only those. Then press Alt H to bring this back up. Okay, cool. Now let's add in our light bulb. So look, go to YouTube and type in how to 3D model a light bulb blender if you want to model one. If you don't want to model one, which is fine, go to CG Trader. It's a free 3D model website. You can get free models. Just make an account, also free, just like where we got the gun at. Download, and let's see. Whenever it downloads, I will have this in the description, by the way. And we gotta wait. Oh yeah. Hey, y'all know what this look like, bruh. Y'all know what this look like. Oh my goodness, I'm childish. Okay. Light bulb, make sure you get the let's get the OBJ. All right, and wherever my 3D models are, yep. Now let's go ahead and import it in our scene. So let's just file, import OBJ. I'm going to get the address of this. So select your address of where you saved it at, Control C, go here, Control V, and then find it. Geometry, make sure it's split by group, and bow. Let's bring it over. Let's select the main. Oh, it's not split. Oh my goodness, it's not split. Okay, so since it's not split, just press Tab 3 L to select the element, okay? That way we can select the piece, and P to select, loosen. Basically separate the part. And this too, because that's also a different material. If you're not in view, press the decimal on numpad, L, now P again. Okay? And bang. There should be something inside. Press Tab 3 L for this. I'm going to separate that. Select it. Let's see. It's the wire, so I'm going to turn this into a emission shader. Emission. Okay, and just bring it up. All right, and then for this, let's go into rendered view. I'm going to drag out a new window, go into shader editor. We don't need the HDR, so world, unplug the HDR. Okay, Oh, all of these have wire. Okay, so remove wire, remove wire, remove wire, Z wireframe. Okay. So let's just add a, wait, let's go back to render mode. Let's go to object up here. New material, name it bulb glass, or just name it bulb. And let's see. Bring down the alpha. Bring up the specular all the way. All right. Let's go back to solid mode real quick and parent everything. So select, then select the main part last. Then press Control P, parent to object. Whoops, that too. Select this, bang, whoops, bang. Right, pop. Control P, parent to object. Z, solid. Let's bring it all over. Bring it in the middle, doesn't have to be perfect. Then press RX 180. Let's bring it up. Let's scale it down. And then just bring it back like right there. All right. Going into shading mode. And for this, what you can do is go to CCO textures, grab a surface imperfection, and let's make a new material, name it bulb holder. And just plug something into the roughness, bring the metalness all the way up, specular all the way up. Because if we go to Google, oh well, you can see it right here. It's metal, this bottom piece. And bow. Bring the roughness however you want to. But again, if you want that detail, go just add a surface imperfection into the roughness. For this part right here, new material, we can just make it black. It's not even visible really. Specular up, roughness up. Put it in the middle more. Bang. Now I'm going to go into rendered mode. And for this, I'm just going to go to our character. I'm going to go into world mode now though, world, and bring the background to 0 because it's not supposed to be visible. But before I do that, I think we're good on the modeling end. We have our light. Actually, let's select this and go over to our collection, right click, select hierarchy, Shift D, Z wireframe, and just drag down. We can't use a cloner because it's multiple objects. So, I mean, you could Control J to merge it, but it's fine really. And just make it random really. So Shift D, drag, Shift D, drag, Shift D, drag. Now here at the end, select this plane, press tab, press 2, select this edge right here, cursor to selected, set origin, no, you don't need the origin, Shift A, mesh, and plane. This is basically going to be what this light is right here. So RX, scale it some, new, make it a emission. Okay. And that's really it for modeling our scene. Wait. Go back to the bulb. Select hierarchy. Shift D because we want one in front too. We want one up top of him. And you want one more over here. Okay. Now, yep, that's it for modeling the scene. Now we move on to texturing and then lighting. Okay, so now for texturing, let's go into shading mode in our viewport, and let's start with the copper pipes. Basically, go to CCO textures, just make this real easy. Go to metal and look for something that looks like copper, okay? So this right here, or whatever you think looks good. And this needs to shut up. Let's see, mutes. There we go. All right. Get the 4K, 2K, whatever you want, metal 008. So let's select our copper pipe material. Make sure in your texturing space it's on object. Now let's find our metal. So 008, I have the 2K version. Now if you have Node Wrangler, which you would do, you would select the principal BSDF, Control Shift T. Let's copy the address, Control C, Control V in our, whoops, I Control C'd it. Control C, Control V, and just select it all. And it didn't work for me, so, but that should work mainly. So if you gotta do it manually, just bring it over, put it in the base color. Displacement, we don't need that. Metalness, normal, roughness, that's all we need. Make the rest of these non-color, non-color, non-color. Metalness goes in metallic, normal goes into a normal, but remember we need the node, so Shift A, normal, map, and bring that here to color, put that into the normal. And roughness goes into roughness. I might upgrade to 2.91 because my Node Wrangler doesn't seem to work that well. But yep, that's pretty much it. Now to test our mapping, I'm going to put this into surface. And I'm not liking how this is looking, so Shift A, nope, just select one of these. Since you have Node Wrangler, Control T. Just like before, we gotta edit our mapping. Plug all these in. Let's scale on the X, bring it in some. Let's see, I'm testing something. Okay, let's select like this right here and let's select one of these, go to UV editing, bring it back to shading. Let's press one, go to one of the vertices, press the decimal, press A, and just scale in the viewport. I mean in the scale it on the X. So Oh yeah, so we gotta really go out our way to make this crazy. All right. Do the same for this. This is a good reason why we use the cloner. So AU, A, SX. Okay, that's fine. Tab A in the viewport. Press A over here first, then press A in the unwrap editor, UV editor, SX. Okay, that fixes that. Yeah, so really sometimes you gotta do some manual stuff. You don't need to do it for this, but SX. All right, that's fine right there. Now let's go back to layout, and then we can plug this back into surface. Let's go into rendered mode, make sure it looks right. Let's add back in our HDR because we're gonna hide the main cylinder. So hide that. Let's add a HDR. You can use any HDR really to test your lights, so. Plugging this in, bring the, put that to the color, strength back to 1, rendered mode. Let's go to UV editing. Let's fix this. SX. This has to be wider. Or just bring everything up. Then press SX. Select this again, SX. Okay. Like that better. Let's select these three. So select face, and just press U. Oh my goodness. Unwrap that. Then you have to press SY to bring these back to normal. Okay. Same with this. This, SX to bring that back to normal. Just a regular sphere. This 2, this one was really wide, so BSX, nope, SY. Bring that back to normal. Okay. I like that a lot better. And our camera would be here, so let's Alt H. Now it may be very noisy for you, so if that's the problem, press Ctrl B and isolate. And that's clean. And make sure your samples are up in your viewport. It's like 500 or 128, I guess. Ctrl Alt B to get rid of the render region. All right. I'm going to bring the plane up. Because it's not on the character's feet, so let's see. So double click on that light so you can make sure you select that. And we're going to bring the strength up right there. Let's turn off our background. I'm going to select the back plane. Wait a minute. There we go. Now it's selected. And we're going to bring that strength way up. Okay, there we go. Go back to shading. Let's edit this. So let's name this rail. Let's go to Google, CCO, look for a metal, and get one of these, okay? Or like this. Let's get in the 2K version, metal 012. Do I already have that? Let's see. All right. Okay, let's drag it all in now. Select the rail, make sure you're in object mode. Bring everything over. Honestly, I'm just going to bring over the roughness and the normal. I don't need anything else. Because it's just metal, like you can just make this 100% metallic. Oh my gosh. Select that, zoom in so it stays right there. You want the base color to be white, yeah. So actually, okay, since the base color is like white, and that's going to make it really shiny, we can bring this into, and the metalness is all white, so it's clean. Shift A, normal, map. Put that into the color, put that there. Color space, non-color. Roughness, non-color, put that into roughness. Base color goes into the base color. Now for the roughness, I kind of want to change this, so actually no, it's just not mapped right. Let's put this roughness into the surface. See? I didn't have this problem with 2.8, but so go into UV editing, select this, press A, press the decimal on your numpad in the UV editor, then press S, scale it on the x-axis. You gotta go really high. Okay, there we go. You don't need to worry about these caps because it's not even visible. So let's go back to layout. Bring that back to surface. And let's edit the roughness. So to make it more imperfect or more shiny and clear, let's look for a color ramp. Bring this in. The black points are the parts where it's completely reflective. The white points are where the part it's completely rough. So I'm going to bring it down a lot because I want it really rough. Boom. There we go. I like that. select this and add the rail material to that. So just look for rail. And good, it's fine. Now we need the ground. So let's add a new material, name it asphalt. If you look in our reference, yeah, it's a dark asphalt. So the one I'm using is this one, okay? Just go to categories, look for asphalt, download the 4K version. It's a ground texture, and you're going to be using displacement. Do not get the 2K. Anyway, so that was asphalt 19, CCO. And drag it in, or use the node wrangler. Control Shift T, then select all these. But I have to do it manually, so. Displacement, bring that in. All right. I'm going to tab A, U, unwrap on my plane. And it's really, we got to scale it up. Press A, S. All right, I like that. Then let's move it in the UV editor. I like how it's on the edges. Yeah. Okay. Add a normal map. Non-color. Normal. Bring the roughness to roughness. Make it non-color. And roughness. Now for this placement. Whoa, whoops. So yeah, for displacement, just add a displacement node. So just search displacement, Shift A, and bring the color to height. Then put that in the displacement. All right. Now over in our settings for displacement to work, we need to go here under settings, displacement and bump. I like displacement and bump. Sometimes you may just want displacement, but personal preference. Now go to your render settings, feature set, use experimental. If you have problems with experimental, you have to YouTube a Blender displacement tutorial using the feature set. I mean, it's supported. All right. So let's see. Okay, yeah, for our displacement, go here into the modifiers, add a subdivision. Make sure it's adaptive subdivision and make sure it's on simple. And do not play with the dice scale, leave it at 1. Basically, this will automatically do subdivision for us. We don't have to go in and manually add any loops or extra geometry. It does it automatically. All right. So now we need to do this, and then we're done. Actually, let's see. I'm going to zoom in on the light bulb. Bring the roughness all the way down. Base color kind of down, and let's see. Oh, again, you could also add a surface imperfection on this light bulb. I can bring it up. All right, back to our cylinder. I'm using Concrete 031 for this, so just go here, Concrete 031. Get the 4K version again. Let's see. CCO, Concrete 031 4K. Add a new material, Concrete. And just bring everything in. We don't need the AO. Color, displace, normal, rough. Alright, color goes into base color, roughness goes into roughness. If it works. Shift A, search for displacement. Put that into the heights. And plug this into the displacement output. And then for the normal, Shift A, normal. Map and color and bring that into the normal. Change your color spaces to non-color, except for base color. Okay. Control S, save your scene. UV editing. Press A. Then press A in here and S. Let's unselect, see how it looks. Press A again. Tab A, press SX. See, this is why I like using a node sometimes, because when you're editing like that, it's hard to tell. So, Control T. And just bring everything in. And then just scale it on the X. Boom, there we go. I'm going to scale it in more. Alright. I think we need to invert our height. So press Shift A, look for invert. Plug that into displacement. Yeah. Yep. Alright. That's it for texturing. Now we're going to move on to lighting. Okay, so for lighting, let's first off set up our camera. So find a nice spot like this. And let's see. I like this right here. So to make a camera, Shift A, camera. Then to put the camera to your view, press Control Alt 0 on numpad. And let's make a new screen. Press 0 to go to your camera view. And then in your other screen, press in your orientations, choose local. And bring it back. So that way we can get a better picture. Okay, I'm liking that. Yep, I'm liking that. So let's see. Let's bring this over here. All right. And now for lighting. Put this back at global. Let's go into rendered mode. Ooh, man, that displacement. Let's see. Let's add back our HDR. Go open new tab, look for shader editor. Go to world. Bring the strength back to 1. Select the cylinder, hide that. See, this is way too strong. Let's go to our camera view and let's see. Go to object mode, and in the scale of our height, bring it down. Let's do 0.05 or 0.03. Yep, 0.03 is very nice. I like that. All right. Let's see. I'm going to refresh my displacement. So just click off, then click back on. All right. Maybe do 0.02 or 0.01. Okay, yep. Now let's press Alt H to hide that. Let's go back to, let's see, what am I doing? The displacement here, let's bring it to 0. Oh, right, we need to do the same thing to the ground we did here. So go into its settings over here to the right. And displacement, make sure it's displacement and bump. Put this at 1. Let's turn off to normal. And let's just make a displacement. Let's bring the displacement scale higher. Jeez. Control A, reset scaling. At 1, displacement and bump. Displacement only. Bring the normal to 1. Let's bring the strength of this normal down. Let's bring this X scale down too. Okay. Oh, right. We didn't add a subdivision on our cylinder, our tunnel. So back to solid mode, subdivide, adapt to subdivision, simple. Go back to rendering mode. There we go. Bring that up back to where it was because it was fine, or like 15. And in the scaling of our, let's turn the normal off. Displacement, let's bring it to like, let's remove the invert. So just put it back into height. Okay, yep, cool. Okay. 0.05 or 0.04. The subdivision will look better in the final render. All right. Yeah, and that's why you go with the 4K version. Let's go back to world mode. Disable HDR. Actually, let's turn our normal back up. So let's go back to object, normal, bring that back to 1. Yeah, but too strong though. Bring it down a little bit. Yep, I'm liking that. All right. Now let's see. Oh yeah, right, our lights. So I didn't like how it's barely having any effect. Go back to world, make your HDR strength 0. Let's see if we hide the bulb. No difference. Select this. Shift as cursor to selected. Shift A. Look for light. Choose a point. And let's go to solid real quick. Or viewport shading. Let's make it inside the bulb. So radius. Make sure it's inside. Use nodes. Always use nodes. And don't change the power here. Only change the power here. Let's make it 300. Let's Z wireframe. Delete that. Select your lights. Go to solid mode and press Alt D. That way we duplicate it and it's an instance. So whatever changes we make to this light bulb, it will happen to the rest of them. Bring that over. Put it inside. Alt D. Alt D. Do that for every light bulb. I think that's it. Nope. Okay, one more. And then you just select this material thing right here and just turn off the illumination because we don't need that anymore. And that will apply to the rest of them. 0 on the numpad, Z solid. Oh, we're missing one. Oh, no, we're not. No, we're not. Oh, yeah, we are. So select again. Alt D. Decimal on numpad to zoom in. Z wireframe, make sure it's in there. All right, Z solid, 0 on numpad. Now let's go back to rendered mode. All right, select one of the lights. Bring it down. Let's select this. Let's turn the strength. Wait. Yep, the backlight. Let's bring the strength down. All right, let's kind of make it. Yep, that color. Then select the light. And then let's slowly and quietly bring them up. Okay. I like that. Again, if your PC starts taking too long to render, just Control B, bang. Then Control Alt B. But yeah, so I like how these lights are functioning. I'm going to Control B to only render what's in my view. Let's see. Okay, so for our base lighting, this is fine. I'm going to add another HDR. Let's see. Let's go to CCO textures. And let's see how we can experiment. Let me turn this off. Texture Haven. Nope, not texture haven, HDR haven. Oh my goodness, HDR haven. Okay, and we might want to look for indoor. Look for indoor. Artificial light, yeah. And I might go with this. Or nighttime, yeah. I'm gonna go with this right here. Gonna get the 2K version. And let's see. Then plug that in, so go back here, put this at 1. I'm gonna turn on my denoiser. So let's see. All right. I'm gonna play with the roughness for my character texture. Go to object and just bring it up a little bit. All right. Going to go back to world again. Control T on the HDR. And we're going to rotate it on the X. Before I do that, let's see something. Yep, so I rotate it on the X. Nope. Rotate it on the Z, that's what's, yeah, Z axis. Oops, 1. And I'm going to bring the intensity down a lot. Yep, I like that. Control Alt, nope, not Control Alt B. So once we have that down, now we can pose our character and add more stuff. So we don't need the texture anymore. Select the character, select the, wait. Z wireframe, make this really easy. Just B, select all that. Shift B to unselect these. Shift B, yeah. Shift B, shift to unselect. Shift D, whoops, the light selected too. B, shift, unselect. Shift D, bring this over here. Shift D again. Over here, Shift D again. Nope, we don't need that many characters. There's 3 is fine. Z solid. Yep, that's fine. Z, I want to bring this guy back some. Actually, I can just select and select hierarchy. 0 on numpad. Press G and then press X. Nope, press Y. GY. Yeah, GY. Just gonna bring him up some. This guy, I'm going to right click, select hierarchy, GY, bring him back some. Okay, and you can also try out different camera views. You can do like right here, you know, experiment. And now we can pose him. So move the legs up, just like classic R6. Again, if you want to use a rig, go YouTube it and come back to here. Come back to here. I can't really explain posing. It honestly just came like natural to me. It was never something difficult, but I know people have a hard time posing. And all I can say is just follow me as best as you can and take your time. Now those that's been in like groups and stuff, you know how R6 animations are, and honestly I just like that style, bro. Like some people might not like this right here, how it goes all the way forward. But hey, I dig that. Like I love R6. Okay. Now pose him. The reason why we're not posing him then duplicating is because we want every pose to kind of be different in some way. So never just duplicate poses and keep it as is. So we're gonna move this leg up for him. Say he's left-handed. He holds the gun up higher too. Again, all my RCO boys, y'all know they lower the limbs. It does, the arm does not stay exactly where it is. You know, it all changes. All right, yeah, I don't like that right there, but just bring it up some, bring it down. Yep, there we go, easy fix. And maybe for this guy, also we can kind of turn the limbs out a little bit. Bang, bang, yeah. Make it just a little bit more organic. And then he can be holding it like this, I guess. Put it on global. Back to local for the arms and limbs. Bring it back some. Bring it in some. Bring his arm down. Or up. All right, I'm liking that. Let's go into rendered view. And we're almost done, really. I'm going to bring the ground up. So I go 1 to front view, I'll just bring it up. Make sure everything's touching. All right. Back to solid. Back to rendered. All right. Gonna press Control B on this guy. I want to make sure the detail we put on those arms, it kind of stays a little bit. The reason why it's like messing up is because of the denoise. So if I turn this off, yep, you can see it. It's fine. Keeping it back on. Control B. Okay, so now that we have our lighting done, we're going to do advanced lighting. So what you want to do is up here at the top, scene, right here to the right, click new scene and do a full copy. Okay. Now in your scene 1, you don't want to move the camera and you don't want to move your character, okay? Select everything and look for, let's see, object data, visibility. Yep. Do not delete it. Do not delete it. Only turn off camera so that way it doesn't show. This is how we're going to do rim lights. Just camera view. So like on the ground. And for these lights, you can you can delete the light bulbs. Don't delete the lights though, not the actual lights. For this back here, camera, uncheck that. And yeah, so select hierarchy. I guess you gotta just manually delete these. Again, these don't need to be, they're very significant objects. They will not give off any bounce lighting that will affect like the already remaining light in the scene, so we can delete that. So like say if you had like a can on a character in the main render, you could delete that because it's not going to be there. But like this tunnel, you don't want to delete that. You just want to uncheck it in the camera view. So we got to manually go here and select hierarchy and delete. Okay. This won't even be in the view, so it doesn't even matter. For the pipes, I guess you can turn it off, but I'm going to keep it on, so just uncheck. 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 I do it for every single. You can delete these, I guess. Yeah, you can delete them. So delete, delete. They don't give off much bounce lighting at all either. Boom, that's all you should delete. That's it. Leave everything else alone. And last but not least, over here in your render properties, go to film and choose transparent. The reason why we want that is because this layer, this scene, will go over the other scene when it comes to lighting. Okay. And now folks, we're going to do some rim lighting. So let's shift click here, anywhere really around here. Let's do light, area light. The science of rim lighting is, well, at least for Roblox, is you put a light behind the character and you just make things look artistic as you can. And then use nodes and then bring up the strength. So I'm just going to make a new view and play with it here. Yep. Go to global transformations and bring the scale up some. So like this one, you know, I kind of want it behind the character's head. See, just like that. That's the rim light. And then I'm going to bring it back right there. Bring down the strength some. Bring it up a little bit. Yep. Shift D. Again, do not move the camera and do not move your character. Otherwise, you got to restart this process. Maybe bring this down some. So yeah, that's going to come through there. Shift D again. Yep, like how that goes through there. Sometimes the rim lighting would not make sense, but it's so overused, you know. You don't overdo it though. Don't overdo it. Make it look decent, you know. You don't want to just spam literally all over behind the character and it makes it look like he's glowing, like with neon lights. No, don't do that. Do not do that. Keep it subtle, okay? Slide down here. I'm going to keep this subtle. And maybe bring it right here. Bring the strength up. Yep, see how that goes through there? That's rim lighting. But it's too strong though, so I'm going to bring it down. So this character is properly rim lighted. So now we gotta do it to the rest of these characters. And shout out to Sky0Z, something like that, for pointing this out to me. Ever since I switched to Blender, I did not know how to do rim lighting. I was like, wait, what? Where's the compositing tags and stuff? Because I was so used to Cinema 4D and 3ds Max. But yeah, but she pointed it out. You have to make a new scene, and it was simple as that. So I gotta shout out to her. Otherwise, this tutorial would not be made. And then Shift D again. See right there, that's the rim light you want. And Shift D, bring it down. Right there, see that? Right there. Put it on local. Bring it up. Do another one, Shift D. Bring it up. Have it barely hit that. Barely. And then bring that strength down. You don't want it too obvious. Yeah, like that. Shift D. See, like that. Shift D. Shift D. I want this closer to the shoulder. Right there. Bring it back some. It's kind of clipping, but bring it over some. Bring the strength up. Yeah, just like that. Too much. There we go. And then I want it right here too, right where that leg is. Going to bring the strength up. Yep. Just like that. That's clean. All right, and last but not least, for when it comes to lighting and rendering and stuff, let's see. Let's select what was that? Oh, our camera. Last but not least, we're gonna turn on depth of field. You want the same depth of field properties as in both scenes, okay? So go here, focus object, put that on the goggles, okay? Then go back to your regular scene and go to your camera, depth of field, regular goggles. We're going to test out the depth of field though. So we're going to put the f-stop at 0.28. I mean at 0.1. I mean 1.2. Yep, so that way our characters are in nice focus. We should have did this in another scene, but let's go back to the other scene. Repeat the same thing. F-stop 1.2. All right. And that's it. That is it. So for your final render, you might want to go to 2K samples in your render. Okay, right here, 2K. And I'll turn on denoising. You will need denoise. It's an interior. It's going to be noisy. And last but not least, in your file format, go with EXR. For general note, we're not doing PNGs no more, bro. Everybody upgraded. All the pros using EXR now. So you know what we got to do? We got to use EXR. So we jumping on that wave. I mean, it's probably been used, but I done heard that the pros use it. So now I'm about to tell y'all to use it. It's going to be, and it does it's very good for post editing. Okay. It makes color grading way better, way simple. Like say you got something overexposed, you can bring it down and it would look right. So yeah, that's that. But there's one problem that I noticed. One problem, and that's with our light. It's fine. I think it's fine. Did I move the camera? No, I did not. I did not move the camera, did I? Oh my goodness, did I made that mistake? Are you kidding me? Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Stop. Oh my. I can't believe I did that, bro. Where's my camera at? Or I deleted it. Oh, no, I didn't. I didn't delete it. Let's Control Z. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Where's the camera at? Okay, there we go. Thank goodness. Oh my god. I was about to be so mad. Oh boy. Let's make sure the properties are still the same. Okay, 1.2, we're good. So back to what I was saying. Where was I at? Render settings. Right. So again, EXR. Full, okay? Full RGB. For scene 1, okay, scene 1, you can just do RGB. For scene 2, when you render, do RGBA. Because RGBA, the A in the RGB stands for alpha. Alpha is like transparency, okay? Or it is transparency. But yeah, put that at full. So whenever you're ready to render, do not close out Blender when you render. We're still going to be using it, okay? So go back to your camera view. When you're ready, click render image. Then when that renders out, it is safe to close out that image. Don't close out Blender though. Go to the other scene, render image, done, okay? And keep Blender open, do not close it. I will see you guys when the render is done. Okay, so once you have everything rendered out, again, don't close Blender. Go to Compositing, use nodes, select render layers, Shift D, make this scene 1. Let's bring it like this when I layout. Let's drag this down. We don't need this. Don't save. Close that down. Bring this into image. Then add a alpha over. Bring this into the top. Bring this one, your transparent, your rim lights, into the bottom. Add a viewer node. Bring that into image and bring that into image. All right. So without the rim lights, this is how it looks. I like to do it like this. It's kind of like not organized, but hey, this is easier for me to see and stuff. So yeah, a little too much for me. So I bring it down some. No rim lights with rim lights, and I like that way better. So now we can do is Shift A, add a glare, and put that right here. Bring that to image. Set it to high, streaks, put that to fog low. And bring the mix down. It's like that, yep. And once you're all set and you like that, you can go ahead and save it. But look, if you don't have Photoshop, stop here. Go to YouTube, type in color grading in Blender right now. You will not be able to follow the tutorial if you do not have Photoshop, because that's where we're about to send this off to. If you have paint.net, Google how to color grade or color correct in paint.net, okay? So now let's go to rendering. Once you're done and you like all this, rendering, look for your search up viewer. And if it loads up, viewer node. Oh yeah, I like that. Go to image, save as. You can just do RGB because we're not dealing with alpha. And I'm just gonna put mine on my desktop. Bruh, it crashed. RGB full, yep. Desktop, boom. Boom. Go to Photoshop, open, desktop, boom. Alpha channel. All right. Now what we can do is set this to 16-bit. Over here in our adaptation, change this to exposure and gamma. Make sure it's at default. Cool. Now let's over here to our filters down here, adjustments. Look for a hue and saturation first. And just experiment. Keep the hue the same though. Gonna do channel mixer now. I'm not gonna lie, all this is playing with the values. If you want some real color grading knowledge, then you gotta YouTube it, because I don't have much game to spit, because this is literally all I do. I play with the adjustments, I find what I like, and that's it. Let's see. I may want to do color balance, yeah. Yep, I like the dark tone blue. Then I might do a photo filter. Orange. Okay, I like that. Then I might do a color lookup. It's a bunch of presets, that's all it is. You experiment with all of these so you get what you like. This used to be my favorite filter, Teal Orange Plus, like back in the day. I always use that. I might use film stock and just lower the opacity off, on, off, on. Yep, I like that. Lastly, exposure. And just bring that up. And yes, I really do like this. So now look, I'm gonna show y'all something. Hey, this is kind of it though for the tutorial. So if I just type in SCP foundation, whatever, you know how it goes, secure, contain, protect, all that gizmo. But that's it. You just file, save as, and done.